My emotions are all over the place this chapter. I know a lot of people are going to be focusing on the sadness aspect of it, but I won't lie. I will not lie. My Drac and Joe interest is like probably where like 80% of my interest in the series is. Not in a mean way. The whole parts between the Shining Stars and Homura were very, very good. They were, they showed a lot about their characters and had a lot of really good moments. But man, Drac and Joe just interests me a lot. He's got such potential of being so different from any villain that Hiro Mishima's done prior. And you gotta understand, as somebody who's read all his works, and when you get a character like this who's just teetered so far away from anything that he's done prior, the sad background villains, the tragic stories, or the pure evil villains, the ones that are doing stuff that they think are right. You got a lot of different things, but now we just have like a straight crime lord in space, and he just seems to be ruthless. He's not like, oh, I'm pure evil. He's like, I'm out for profit and business. As long as working positively with somebody, as long as working with you is gonna get me money, you don't screw me over, then we're good. Other than that, probably gonna get killed anyway. But the Shining Stars find out about Valkyrie this chapter. But we had a really nice whole bit from Xiao Mei. I really liked it because I'm hoping that after each arc, we see Xiao Mei just like describe the story of like, oh yeah, this happened to this planet after these events, whether it's good or bad. Here, obviously, we got a good thing because she explains how after being freed of forced labor, they already knew that all of the materials from the Sun Jewel were important to the entire cosmos. It was a valuable resource to the soccer cosmos. So like, okay, yeah, we're gonna keep mining, keep doing our thing, and turn a profit. Though now it's fair working and not slave labor, as Kurenai was pretty much doing. Meanwhile, to replace her, they voted up a new leader. They had a democracy of putting someone in charge, someone that would be, do things fairly. And now the planet has become like a famous spot for, adventurers looking for treasure. And she even says that she's like, oh, sorry, I spoiled you in something that happens later. But I mean, I don't imagine that it's that important. No, if it's just kind of like, okay, cool, it gets in its own spot, it gets on its feet. I am wondering, if the fact that it turns out very positive will help things in the future, like plot-wise, do something. But then we get to the ship, you got Hermit, who's in tears, Moscow's in tears, and Witch and Sister just seem to be very, very steadfast holding on this. Well, Sister seems pretty mad. Sister Ivory's mad that they didn't bring back Valkyrie's body, but Homura knew that the body that was left there, though that was her mentor, it was a symbol of hope for their entire, planet pretty much at this point. Actually, looking at it, at the spot, they had these bushes around it, and they put this nice rail. They did a lot of work. They've made that look nice fast. I'm impressed, I'm not gonna lie. I'm guessing though, if you have probably a couple hundred people fast act, you're gonna get that done a small area like that just finished almost instantly. I tried to snap there, not very good. Anyway, but Sister was not okay with this. She's like, no, that I don't care. This is where her home is. The people there aren't where, that's not where she belongs. She belongs to be here. And she thinks that we'll bring her body back. They might have been able to heal her with her, her abilities. But at the same time, they're like, okay, but we have all her information stored up in their cloud storage. So we could technically bring her back. But Witch knew, she knew exactly what that meant. It wouldn't be the same one. Because though they can replicate essentially the base unit of who they are, they can't copy emotions. She's like, you can't copy endorphins and dopamine. Nothing that it's done from reaction. It's just kind of your base layout. So all the stuff about her feelings that she had for Homura and all those emotions would be gone. It wouldn't be the same person. It would pretty much be, it would just be a copy. A dulled down copy. And well, she's talking about, she's like, she's pretty much gone at this point. And it wouldn't really be right to bring her back. Though sister is not okay with that. She's like, it's better than letting her die. But everyone's like, she's already dead. Like we have those backups for pretty much looking for unseeable errors and repairs, like system damage, but they can't escape death. And while sister's like trying to talk to Shiki and telling her what to do, she's like, hey, you know, you're in charge. Tell her what to do and how this works. And Shiki's just like, I don't really know what the cloud storage is. You guys are saying stuff that I don't know about yet. But he explains something that that Ziggy told him at one point, his grandfather. He's saying essentially that though humans and, you know, their bots, the robots, have different lifespans, they both value different things. It really just comes down to they can die as well. And though there are ways that they could cheat death, it's not really cheating. Like if she ended up being brought back, it would only cheapen the life, because then at that point she's not a person. She's more of like a product, and it's like, oh well, this one's gone, just make a new one. And that, again, that completely like takes away the weight of who she was. And instead of pretty much being like, oh, this is a robot who has, you know, a robot in body, you know, a person in soul and creation. But if you take away that aspect, then she's not a person. It'd be no different than just being like, oh, we'll just oh yeah, just make another one. It's not a big deal. They are who they are because of events in their lives, and if they take those events away, what really defines them of who they are, then they are just a blueprint of, you know, data and coding. And he's like saying, like, essentially knowing that you can die and you'll eventually meet that end, you know, you're able to value things in life and what you cherish, and that's pretty much why we, you know, bots have hearts. You know, us just being robots doesn't mean that we're nothing. It's the fact that we understand certain aspects like that make us a person. And it was really nice about that, because like when you look at like, okay, this is a robot character, well, what exactly is what defines them? When you have something like, oh, it's, you know, this character was created through coding and, you know, all their personality and stuff wrote up. But when you have something that can feel and learn, that's what ends up like, you know, their events are what shape them, and that's what exactly crafts them into being an individual. But again, if you took that away, they'd be like no different than just cloning a person and just giving them all the memories. It's like, well, you can say you're that person, but you're really just a copy made to replace them. And really, like, Homura's like, I agree, like, we have to move forward. My mentor always talked about striving forward, not going back, and always, you know, keeping ahead on the path of progress. And because of that, she's like, if that means that we need a fourth shining star, then I will become Valkyrie. And she's just, I will become the next person. I will inherit that position. I wanted it to be Pino. I wanted Pino to somehow get like a sick, like, little mech suit that she can insert herself into and be a unit. Maybe eventually. But now Homura is going to get in that spot, and I'm wondering what that means. Like, what exactly that means in this. It's like, well, what exactly will be the thing that, like, makes her Shining Star? Is it just a title? Is there something specific she needs to get? Like, some weird kind of, like, special implant of the ship? Like, maybe something that, you know, does some additional effect why they actually need them instead of just uses that they do? But she's like, well, getting to Mother was Valkyrie's mission, so I want to do that too. And sister's like, well, no, we were let go from missions, then we have our own free wills. And Amor's like, yeah, so do I, and this is what I want to do. Sister's just grouchy and leaves. You got like this very kind of like timid, not really timid, I want to say like somber look from Connor as he's just like looking over at them. I'm wondering what his role in a lot of things are going to be though still. And then here's what it is, getting to Drac and Joe, who the question was, well, everything was going on, it's what is Drac and Joe doing, because he already set sights on the Eden Zero ship. But it turns out that was a hologram, and we know Hermit. You had Hermit on the ship, who's all about like computer systems security and whatnot. So it doesn't surprise me that she figured out that, you know, they were being followed and, you know, observed upon. So she wanted to, well, not really followed, because it wasn't until after that point that she knew. But she knew that they were getting targeted, so she made a fake. Maybe she made the fake beforehand just in case. And now they're like, well, what do we do now? Drac and Joe has suspicions of where they're going, and that is just going to brighten up or widen up my whole idea of the character, because now I think we're going to see some more of his connections, more of his resources of information. Because one of the things about the character that I also really like is it seems that he's got hands and pockets of a lot of characters. He knew closely with Kurenai, knew about Noah, the leader of the Shooting Star Guild. So now we're gonna just see like how far this guy goes, because we don't know really anything about the other members of the Erasilionces Galactica. But what we know about Draken Joe is he is a businessman above all else, and so he's gonna have a lot of connections to important people, and then that's really showing so far. And then we get back to the ship. You just have like this nice little moment between Witch and Sister, and Witch seems to know that they were being followed. It's not a big deal to her. It's like, well, we got them off our tail. They probably know it's a decoy, so they'll probably be looking for us again at some point. I doubt they know that it's Draken Joe, and if they do, I want to know I want to know what their take on him would be, because they were part of a big deal crew back when Ziggy was still alive. So would they know about someone like Draken Joe? Because he doesn't seem to be young. I just guess he's like 30s or 40s. So maybe he was like up and coming when Ziggy was on his way out. And then the two characters are reminiscing about Valkyrie and how much she loved to just to gaze upon the stars while they're on their viewing deck, which just really thinking deeply about her lost friend, while Sister is talking about just like after all the battles she'd heal her and help her, but she never really understood like the feeling of that they lose somebody close to them and how much it would affect them. Both of them just kind of like start really shedding their emotions. And you got this really tearful moment between them as they, embraced each other and, cried for the loss of a friend of theirs. They really of just needing each other to fall back upon. You need somebody to really vent those emotions out when you're going through hard times. And, luckily they got each other. You got these two people that they've long since had as companions, and though they've lost one of their companions, here they still have people to lean on. And I'm hoping that they realize not just their old friends, but they got new friends that they should be able to talk to about these things. I'm sure that Valkyrie would be really happy that they're all united together again and able to go back out and do things, go on adventures, now help the new boss of the Eden Zero ship, because at the end of the day, they still respected Ziggy a lot, and you have Shiki taking up the mantle for Ziggy, so I'm sure that he would be happy about that, and thus in connection, they would be happy that Ziggy would be happy about. So, things are going too well. Things are going pretty happy. So in the next chapter, looks like we're going to be getting back on track. They've got the 4 shutting stars, so maybe we'll see Dragon Falls, and we'll see this apparent dangerous road of dragons, this line of space dragons that they have to, go over. Will they be, the thing about that is what I'm wondering is, will they all be different types of dragons? Or are they all going to be those robotic, dragon ships? How is that going to work? Which then makes me curious, is there some form of, dude who's making all these dragon mechs, flying around through space? Or are these some form of, organic metal creatures, kind of like Transformers? Anyway, comment below, tell me what you thought about this chapter. I'm guessing a lot of people, it's all the, the tearful moments between Valkyrie's crew, her friends, and, them going through her loss, their loss of her. But, I'm so just enticed by Draken Joe's presence right now. I can't help it. Anyway, comment below, thumbs up the video. I really appreciate you before the like button and subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But in that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and thank you all for listening. Bye.